Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. The Southwest TV Translator Association underwrites the news, and Dolores County Broadcasting Network provides the support for DCTV.
Here at the News at Noon show, we assemble the best and most interesting news from the area, and Jerry Tope brings you the local weather and related news. Give us a call with news tips or topics you'd like to see covered. The number is 677-4119.
Thanks for watching DCTV. Today's show is live on Monday at noon and rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired on Thursday at noon, 3 and 6.
Coming up, an armed robbery, houseboat quarantined, Dolores River flow update, and more.
And also a fatal stabbing, motorcycle crash with weather, the sheriff's report, and area happenings. Today is April 24th, 2017, and now the news at noon. According to the Durango Herald, a 29-year-old Arizona man suspected of robbing a Durango marijuana dispensary with an AR-15 rifle last Tuesday night is in jail after a canine unit tracked him into the hills above Bodo Park. Alexander Johnson of Chandler confessed to the armed robbery and said he acted alone, according to Durango police. He graduated from high school in Farmington and has ties to the area. According to the Durango Police Department, officers were dispatched around 8:30 p.m. to an armed robbery in progress at the Greenery, 208 Parker Avenue in Bodo Industrial Park. Initial information indicated the robber was wearing a full face mask, dark-colored hoodie and gloves, and was armed with an AR-15 rifle, a semi-automatic rifle based on the U.S. military's M16 rifle. According to the report, Johnson confronted a delivery driver dropping off marijuana at the door of the Greenery, which allowed employees inside to get into a secured portion of the business. Johnson allegedly stole a large amount of marijuana, Durango Police Lieutenant Ray Shoup said. Via email, authorities are serving a search warrant on the vehicle, so the exact weight of the recovered marijuana is unclear. The invoice from the delivery driver shows 6 pounds of marijuana was being delivered, he said. Shortly after the robbery report, a La Plata County Sheriff's Office deputy spotted a person who fit the description of the initial dispatch report at another business a short distance away. A man was loading a duffel bag into the trunk of a black 2012 Hyundai Sonata with New Mexico license plates, the report says. As the deputy approached, the man fled into a heavily vegetated area above Bodo. Officers and the deputy approached the car to make sure no one else was inside, the report says. They observed a large military-style duffel bag in the trunk. They could smell the strong odor of marijuana and could see the butt end of an AR-15 rifle. A La Plata County Sheriff's Office K-9 unit was called in to track the suspect, who was located and taken into custody. Police say the incident remains under investigation, but they believe Johnson acted alone. Johnson was booked into La Plata County Jail on suspicion of aggravated robbery and possession of weapons by a previous offender. His bond was set at $75,000.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, a Toyoak woman who pleaded guilty to the stabbing death of her sister was sentenced this month by U.S. District Judge Robert E. Blackburn. Jacine Little Deer Colorado, age 19, was sentenced to serve 10 years in federal prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release, said Jeff Dorschner, a spokesman for the U.S. Department of Justice. Colorado was arrested in the early hours of February 8, 2016, after a fight at a Toyoak residence on Lafayette Street. She was charged with second-degree murder of her sister, Keisha Colorado, age 19, who had a 2-year-old son. According to a plea agreement, federal prosecutors recommended a 14-year prison sentence. Jacine Colorado originally pleaded not guilty, but changed her plea on December 7th. In May, she was released from jail on an unsecured $100,000 bond and placed in a halfway house pending further court action. According to a federal affidavit, the sisters, both members of the Ute Mountain Ute tribe, had been drinking when the crime occurred. A witness stated they were fighting over a stupid cell phone. Keisha Colorado enjoyed softball, volleyball, and dancing, according to the Ertel Funeral Home obituary. Known as Quiche, she also enjoyed participating in the bear dance and singing at Sundance. She was the great-great-granddaughter of Jack House, the last traditional Ute Mountain Ute chief.
Here's the Dolores River flow update from the Cortez Journal. McPhee Reservoir managers have released an update on the whitewater schedule for boaters on the lower Dolores River below the dam. For the next few days, flows will be between 1,100 cubic feet per second and 1,900 CFS. Between April 25th and May 1st, releases will reach optimum flows of 1,900 CFS to 2,100 CFS between May 2nd and May 8th. Releases are planned for 2,100. Reservoir managers are scheduling flushing flows of 4,000 CFS from May 4th to May 6th. The high flows are designed to mimic the natural hydrograph and provide environmental benefits such as scouring the main channel and dispersing native seeds onto the larger floodplain. After the flushing flows, the dam release will ramp to the 800 to 1200 CFS range, while McPhee Reservoir fills before Memorial Day. Forecasts still project sufficient runoff for continued potable releases below the dam into early June. Inflow into the reservoir remains high, but will fluctuate with a series of cold fronts pushing through with chance of some mountain precipitation. Inflow rates and reservoir elevations are driving whitewater spill operations. Ramp down is not expected until early June, but that schedule could change depending on continued spring weather. Melting snow will provide boatable levels below the dam for a predicted 45 days. When the Dolores River inflow matches the McPhee Dam outflow, the final ramp down will occur. Ramp down will be from 800 CFS to 600 CFS over 24 hours and then hold for 24 hours. This pattern repeats through 400, then 200, and then a base flow of 75 CFS. The slick rock put-in takeout access is available on private property 200 yards downstream of the Highway 141 bridge on River Left. There is a charge to use this river access. Do not use the old private boat ramp on the river right upstream of the bridge, as it's not accessible this season. For free public river access, go to the BLM's Gypsum Valley River Access Site, 25 road miles from Slick Rock via Colorado Highway 141 and County Road 20R. Boaters are reporting excellent conditions from Bradfield Bridge to Bedrock and beyond. Slick Rock Canyon is recommended for its wilderness qualities, excellent hiking, and lively but not too difficult rapids. Jay Loschert of Dolores River Boating Advocates reports the campsites in Slick Rock Canyon are a bit overgrown, but are improving as people utilize them. Bighorn rams with full horns have been seen on the cliffs upstream from Coyote Wash. For more information on a newly released interim river guide map and on boating flows, visit DoloresWater.com or the Dolores River Boating Advocates website.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, an unattended land cruiser rolled off a cliff at Mesa Verde National Park Thursday afternoon. No one was injured in the incident, said Chief Ranger Jesse Farias, which occurred about 4 p.m. at the Fire Temple Ruin Overlook on the Mesa Top driving loop. The 2001 Land Cruiser began to roll and would have just hit the vehicle in front of it, but a lip in the asphalt caused the steering wheel to turn enough that it rolled off the edge. It plummeted down a 60 to 80 foot cliff, then rolled 150 feet down a canyon. The vehicle's owner, a 41-year-old Greg Geiger, is vacationing from North Carolina. A citation was not issued for the accident. He had some choice words, as you might imagine, Farias said. Geiger said Friday he was glad the damage was only to his car. What was first going through my head was I might have done damage to a national treasure, he said. I'm glad that didn't happen. Geiger said he was on a cross-country trip and most of his possessions were in the car when it rolled off the cliff. Geiger considered trying to enter the SUV to stop it, Farias said, but decided not to because it was past the point of no return. There were several witnesses.
A houseboat was caught infested with the evil mussels, reported in the Cortez Journal. A trailered houseboat encrusted with invasive mussels was discovered by Colorado Parks and Wildlife on the shoulder of U.S. Highway 160 at Mancos Hill last Tuesday. The boat, which was on a blocked-up, damaged trailer, came from Lake Powell and was heading to Navajo Lake, reported Joe Lewandowski, spokesperson for Parks and Wildlife. It was put on a hold, and it will be hauled to Navajo Lake, where it will be decontaminated at the boat inspection station there, he said. The boat will be kept isolated and out of the water for 6 to 8 weeks, and Navajo State Park officials expect the decontamination procedures to take more than 80 hours. Lake Powell is contaminated with the invasive mussel species, which cause damage to irrigation and municipal systems. A Parks and Wildlife boat inspection technician happened across the 45-foot houseboat while driving along US 160 east of Mancos. He took a closer look and discovered the boat from Arizona was contaminated with adult mussels. The technician stood guard overnight while the owner was contacted, and he is cooperating, Lewandowski said. The discovery is alarming as Colorado is free of the mussel. Officials have stepped up prevention efforts and boat inspection stations at major lakes since 2008. Montezuma County water officials have also increased prevention efforts at area lakes. Starting this year, motorized boats are banned at Toten and Narragansett lakes because there are no inspection stations. At McPhee Reservoir, motorized boat access is restricted to the 2 boat ramps with inspection stations during open hours only. Also on Tuesday, Parks and Wildlife officials and the Montezuma County Sheriffs were notified of an illegal motorized bass boat on Totten Lake. The Durango boaters were forced to exit the lake and the boat was inspected and cleaned on site. A gate has since been installed and signs of the motorized boating ban will be installed in coming days. Mussel larvae can live in standing water of boat engines and adults attached to hulls and engines. All boats should be drained, cleaned, and dried before entering any waterway and after leaving. Lake authorities are on high alert because of the mussel risk. A specific list of hand-launched, non-motorized boats are allowed on McPhee, Toten, and Narragansett lakes. They include kayaks, rafts, belly boats, windsurfers boards, sailboards, float tubes, inner tubes, and paddleboards. Non-motorized boats on the exempt list are allowed to be launched anywhere. However, if an exempt boat is launched via a trailer, it must go through an inspection station because a trailer can be contaminated with a mussel from another lake.
A former owner of Trimble Hot, according to the Cortez Journal, the former owner of Trimble Hot Springs was killed in a one-vehicle accident south of Memphis on Thursday evening. The body of Rudy Bear, age 72, was discovered Friday morning in a field off Road J, according to Sergeant James Saunders of the Colorado State Patrol. Bear, of Memphis, had been ejected from his 2007 Audi, which left the roadway sometime Thursday evening, crashed through the brush, struck a large rock, and rolled. He was not wearing a seatbelt, Saunders said. Based on our investigation, alcohol is a suspected factor, Saunders said. When Bear did not arrive home, family members began searching for him, but the crash site was not visible from the roadway. The fatal crash was discovered about 6:30 a.m. Friday by a passing driver. And in other news, a man and woman on a motorcycle hit a coyote near the intersection of U.S. Highway 160 and Colorado Highway 151, east of Chimney Rock, shortly after 5 p.m. The two were taken to Mercy Regional Medical Center with serious injuries, said Captain Adrian Driscoll with Colorado State Patrol. The motorcycle was headed east, he said. No other details were available. And now here's our weather report.
This week will be a busy one weather-wise for the Colorado and the Western Slope, where our primary concern is. The Dolores County School District runs buses all over the state, though as do business and family needs of our viewers. The National Weather Service says that the next disturbance in our weather is scheduled to arrive this afternoon with wind and showers and potential thunderstorms, mainly north of I-70. Those showers are expected to spread south this evening. Northern and central mountains are forecast for 4 to 6 inches of snow at elevations above 8,000 this evening and overnight, most of it falling during the night. The San Juans overnight and into tomorrow are likely to see similar amounts. They are calling this a late season snow event and have issued a winter weather advisory for those locations. This means snow, sleet, rain, and so on. These systems coming through will keep things a bit cooler. Winds this afternoon will be steady, 20 to 25, with gusts up to 35, then slow only slightly for the night and be just as gusty. Some snow levels are expected to drop in between 5,000 and 6,000 feet tomorrow night, and another windy period reaching 15 to 20 with gusts of 30. Tomorrow will be showers and scattered thunderstorms. Tuesday night with isolated rain, snow, and breezy, then clear up. This will leave us with mostly clear skies for Wednesday, and then another round of wet weather will arrive Wednesday evening and night. The rain and snow continuing through midday Thursday, and then an afternoon pause with more chances of snow and rain Thursday night and Friday. So if you have outdoor plants that need special care for the cold, you will want to be prepared. We have only Wednesday night above freezing, with the rest at or below that point according to the National Weather Service. Rain and higher elevation snow will develop over parts of the Pacific Northwest into Northern California through Tuesday morning. There will be rain and snow over parts of the northern plains into the upper Great Lakes. This will move into parts of the upper and middle Mississippi Valley and northern plains by this evening. As the system moves eastward, moisture will move northward from the western Gulf of Mexico and pool along the boundary. Overnight tonight, the rain and snow will change over to all rain over parts of the upper Mississippi Valley and upper Great Lakes through tomorrow. Showers and thunderstorms will start to develop near the front over the middle Missouri Valley overnight tonight, expanding into the central plains by Tuesday morning, and continue to expand in the central high plains and parts of the southern Rockies by tomorrow evening. A low in the southwest will move slowly northward to North Carolina coast by Tuesday evening. This will produce showers and thunderstorms over parts of the southeast and portions of the southern mid-Atlantic. It will move off the southeast coast by tomorrow morning and remain over parts of the southern mid-Atlantic coast through tomorrow evening. Rain will develop over the Virginians that will slowly expand northward into the northern mid-Atlantic and lower Great Lakes and southern New England by tomorrow morning, then expand northward into northern New England by tomorrow evening. And a front extending from the northern plains to the central high plains and the Great Basin will move eastward to the upper Great Lakes and middle Mississippi Valley, the southern high plains by tomorrow evening. Tomorrow's high is expected to be 14 degrees cooler than today at 53, with midland 50s through Thursday. Friday and Saturday will be the upper 40s, and lows will be mostly near and below freezing, except Wednesday night's 37. Saturday night's expected to be the coldest at 29. Windy and gusty rain, snow, and sleet with mountain accumulations of 4 to 6 inches for most of the week, with notable exception of Wednesday, and even that day will be pretty cloudy. Now back to the news.
According to the Cortez Journal, Colorado can expect an average to slightly below average wildfire season this year, despite dry conditions and early outbreaks on the eastern plains, officials said Friday. But the fires will occur, said Michael Morgan, the Director of State Division of Fire Prevention and Control. An average season in Colorado is about 45 wildfires burning a total of 160 square miles, Morgan said. The outlook is based on expected weather patterns and fuel. The trees, grass, shrubs, and other vegetation that can burn if a fire gets out of hand. Most of the plains have been in a drought or near drought condition since mid-October. Last month, a wildfire in northeastern Colorado blackened 50 square miles and killed 200 cattle, but the mountains received heavy winter snowfall after a slow start. Most of the high country had average or above average snowpack as of Friday. Governor John Hickenlooper, who appeared with Morgan for a briefing at the state capitol in Denver in Colorado, said Colorado averages 4 times as many wildfires as it did 15 years ago. He blamed climate change, which he said has lengthened the fire season by about 80 days.
Last week's Mauna Loa CO2 report is in at 409.61. Week before last was 408.85. 1 year ago was 407.48, and 10 years ago the number was 387.49. What can wetter than normal weather do? In a Reuters commodity report issued 2 days ago, we found this bill. Researchers at the U.S. Department of Agriculture first isolated a certain toxin in 1973 after an unusually wet winter in the Midwest. The compound was given what researchers described as the trivial name vomitoxin, because pigs were refusing to eat the infected corn or vomiting after consuming. The U.S. Corn Belt had earlier outbreaks of that toxin from 1966 and in 1928. Well, this last winter was another wet one. Vomitoxin has been found in some U.S. corn harvested last year, forcing poultry and pork farmers to test their grain, giving headaches to grain growers already wrestling with massive supplies and low prices. The plant toxin sickens livestock and can also make humans and pets fall ill. The appearance of vomitoxin and other toxins produced by fungi is affecting ethanol markets. The grain processors are seeking alternative sources of feed supplies. According to state officials and data gathered by the Food Testing Corp Neogen, the spread of vomitoxin is concentrated in Indiana, Wisconsin, Ohio, and parts of Iowa and Michigan. Its full impacts not yet known, according to the Office of Indiana State Chemists County surveys. In Indiana, 40 of 92 counties had at least one load of corn harvested last fall that has tested positive for vomitoxin. In 2015 and 2014, no more than 4 counties saw grain affected by the fungus. A considerable share of corn crops tested in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Indiana since last fall's harvest have the vomitoxin levels tested high enough to be considered too toxic for humans, pets, hogs, chickens, and dairy cattle. This was from public and private data compiled by Neogen. The company did not state what percentage of each state's crop was tested. And And a vessel carrying a shipment of corn from Paraguay is due next month at North Carolina port used by Smithfield Foods Incorporated. The world's largest pork producer, Smithfield, did not confirm it had ordered the corn from Paraguay, but two independent grain trading sources said Smithfield was the likely buyer. The company source said that corn Smithfield has bought in brought in from Indiana and Ohio to feed pigs in North Carolina has been horrible quality due to the presence of mycotoxins. U.S. FDA administration allows mycotoxin levels up to 1 part per million in human and pet foods and recommend levels under 5 parts per million in grain for hogs, tin for chickens, and dairy cattle. Beef cattle can withstand toxin levels up to 30 parts per million.
According to the Cortez Journal, starting June 1st, Dolores will become the 3rd town in Montezuma County to have its own 24-hour ambulance service. Haley Leonard Saunders, a public relations representative from Southwest Memorial Hospital, announced Wednesday that the hospital plans to station 2 emergency services technicians in Dolores 24/7 starting on June 1st. A hospital ambulance has already been stationed in town during the day for about a year, but a new partnership between the hospital and the Dolores Volunteer Fire Department will allow for overnight service. The fire department will add sleeping quarters and an ambulance station to station number 1 on Railroad Avenue. It's a benefit to the people of the district to get quicker transport to the hospital if they need it, Dolores Fire Chief Mike Zion said. It will take some of the pressure off the volunteers. He said the town's volunteer firefighters aren't equipped to transport people to the hospital, but only to provide emergency medical help until an ambulance arrives. An ambulance in Dolores overnight will help the town as well as smaller neighbors like Lewis and Pleasant View, Zion said. A 24-hour ambulance service for Dolores has been in the works since the beginning of the year, but Saunders said the hospital and fire department only recently finished all the paperwork and training requirement to make it happen. Although the crew will use the Dolores Fire Department's building, the hospital will pay their expenses. Saunders said Southwest Memorial's goal is to provide expanded emergency services without affecting fire department activities.
From CPR, an evaluation of Colorado parks, they reported that visitors to our state really like our national parks and monuments. Excuse me. And with that affection comes something else, money. More than 7.5 million visitors to Colorado's 12 National Park Service units spent $485 million in 2016, according to a new report from the agency. Spending was up by about 8% and visits rose by 5.5% over 2015, said Patrick O'Driscoll, spokesman for the NPS Intermountain Regional Office in Denver. He attributed the bump to low gas prices and the Find Your Park publicity campaign for the Park Service's centennial. That effort had backing from business giants like American Express, REI, and Subaru. Rocky Mountain National Park leads the pack with more than 4.5 million visitors last year, who spent nearly $300 million in and around the park. The parks contribute some $722 million to the state's economy, the report says. Some 11% of visitors surveyed in 2015 said their main purpose for coming to Colorado was the outdoors, according to the Colorado Tourism Office. And research from the Outdoor Industry Association says outdoor recreation accounts for about $13.2 billion in consumer spending in the state. But with that comes concerns of overuse. Just this week, the Forest Service threatened to close the popular Hanging Lake Trail near Glenwood Springs because of graffiti on trees and rocks. The number of visitors to the lake has grown from 90,000 in 2012 to more than 137,000 last year. It's too soon to tell what kind of year 2017 will be for the state's national park units. O'Driscoll said, he said the Park Service hopes many first-time visitors from last year will come back again. We think that last year's celebration really put the national parks on the radar screen for a lot of people who may not have been aware of them or visited them.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of April 17th through the 23rd. Deputies responded for a complaint of a patient causing a disturbance at a medical facility in town. The individual was removed from the facility. A resident reported boxes with miscellaneous wiring and other similar items were found on the highway. If you are missing items of this nature, please contact the Sheriff's Office with a description. A deputy assisted a Colorado State Patrol trooper and stopped a reckless vehicle at their request. That's it for today's roundup. Stay tuned for continuing updates.
For today's High Country happenings, coming up May 13th at Cedar Mesa, there will be a Run the Fold Comb Ridge Classic Trail Run, a 10K half marathon presented by the Four Corners School of Outdoor Education. $35 and $75. For more details, call 435-587-2156 or visit fourcornersschool.org. So Dove Creek, get your paint on April 28th at 6:30 p.m. Doors open at 6 p.m. at the Community Center. It's Painting with Ashley. They'll be painting the flowers pictured on the Facebook invite page. Follow along with Ashley while she helps navigate you through your own painting. Admission is $30 per person, which includes painting instruction and all painting supplies. Class size is limited to 25 people on a first-come, first-served basis. For questions, contact Takara Harrington at 970-570-7991. Also locally, the Pick and Hoe is beginning to take shape. The Facebook page shows a photo of a Harley-Davidson Sportster that will be given away in a chance drawing. It will be parked at the Fireman's Breakfast for viewing this Sunday, April 30th, 2017. Support the Fireman's Fundraiser and the Pick and Hoe. And if you'd like to get involved in any of the events, make sure to mark down Thursday, May 4th at 7 p.m. for the first open meeting at the Old Pinion/Community Voice office at 123 West Main Street in Dove Creek. All of these happenings are posted up on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the embedded YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. It's dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station at 677-4119 and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. This program is live at noon Monday through Wednesday, then it is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 3, and 6.
We are also featuring a live call-in show called Talk Tuesday. It's aired live Tuesday evenings at 5:30 and then rebroadcast throughout the week at 5:30. Be sure to check out our Facebook page. It has all those links and details with original stories and video replays. Please like us there and share the link.
For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and everyone at DCTV with the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.